What's up, YouTube? It is time for another episode of my Throwback Thursday series. Episode 3. That's crazy that we're already 3 episodes into this series. My past 2 episodes were on BioShock Infinite and Horizon Zero Dawn, so go check those out. They are in my vlog playlist, and you can find them all over my channel. I am back home in Boston. I'm sure you saw my DC vlog. I'm not sure if I'm going to post a video between that DC vlog and this Throwback Thursday. That's about what's going on. But I figured since I'm finally back home in Boston, there is no more biking past the Capitol building. If you look, I have a pretty messed up outfit today just because I'm running really late on everything. I set like an 8 o'clock alarm and I woke up at 12:30 and life's just getting scrambled. I am not used to running on like a time schedule again. We would literally wake up in DC whenever we wanted, go grab a bike and then just bike and do whatever was on the agenda for the day, which is really nothing. But yeah, I'm back to work, I'm back to YouTube, I'm back to this, to that, here in Boston. So it's busy. But sticking to that Boston theme, I figured I'd pull out the Patriots sweatshirt. And the topic of today's Throwback Thursday is one of the most critically acclaimed games that actually starts off in Boston. So I'm sure you all already know which one it is. I am a huge fan of like zombies and nerdy stuff. I've been watching The Walking Dead basically since it started. So I'm watching the current season with Negan, and people hate it, but I'm still watching it. And I also figured that little blanket right there with the deer and the woodsy little theme would be good for this video, because today's Throwback Thursday video is all about another PlayStation exclusive, The Last of Us. I guess I should be saying part 1 now, because part 2 has been announced. No release date. I personally think that's not coming out till mid-2019, just because, unless they talk about it more at E3, but we'll just have to be patient and wait. Today's Throwback Thursday video is The Last of Us. Now, I played this game a couple months ago, honestly. I didn't even play it when it had first come out. I skipped over it when it came out. Had to have been maybe, it was mid, like between 2012, 2015, I want to say, something like that. Because it had initially come out on the PS3, but then of course it was remastered for the PS4, and that's the version that I played. But this game just personally really reminds me of The Walking Dead, which is one of, if not my favorite TV show of all time. And it was fun. It took me 2 attempts to actually get through this game. The first time I ever played, I forget how I had it. I think I just borrowed it from Bostonian Bjorn. And I was just like, no, I can't play this game. It's too boring. I don't know what was wrong with me. I basically, spoiler alert, as always, I do just tend to spoil these games in my Throwback Thursday vlogs. But I basically, first time around, I got to the point where Tess dies, and then I just stopped playing. I don't know why. But then second time around, I just went straight through the whole game, and it was so worth it. It is definitely one of, if not my favorite game of all time. And that's why I chose to talk about it today, just because it's got the Boston hype that I'm feeling right now to just finally be back home. The trip was awesome, but I just miss home. And it also has that zombie hype, I guess you want to call it. Just because Walking Dead's still been going on, a lot of zombie. Days Gone was delayed until next year. That's probably just going to get canceled, honestly. So I'm in the zombie mood right now. So The Last of Us. As always, these Throwback Thursday vlogs, how they work. I gave a little review of the story, and as you can probably tell, I am not the best at giving reviews on stories just because I don't remember anything. I don't know why. And then I talk about the gameplay. Sometimes they interchange gameplay and story. But that's pretty much how it goes. And then at the end, I give the game a final big rating. And I'm just going to let you guys know now, compared to BioShock Infinite and Horizon Zero Dawn, this game's going to have a lot higher rating because it's just one of the GOATs of gaming, I feel. And if you've never played Last of Us, definitely check it out before Last of Us 2 drops. And then you'll become a big fan of this game, just like I became. So The Last of Us is produced by Naughty Dog. They also make all the Uncharted games, Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm pretty sure all the Vita, PSP versions of Uncharted. which is also a great game. Check that out. That'll be another Throwback Thursday video real soon. But yes, The Last of Us produced by Naughty Dog. It surrounds two main protagonists. You have the first one, who is obviously the character you play as for like 90% of the game, Joel. He is this old, I'm gonna guess maybe like 30, between 30 and 50, probably in his 40s-year-old man, and the game starts off very, very deep and dark. You wake up playing as this little blonde girl who is Joel's daughter. That's kind of when you realize that I guess you want to call it the fungus and an infection has swarmed the city, and the zombie apocalypse basically started. And you're playing as Joel's little daughter. She goes downstairs only to find Joel like slaughtering one of her neighbors, a zombie, or maybe he just shuts the door. Maybe he was too weak at the time. But basically, that's how you find out. They run away from their house. You basically just see the city in flames, in tragedy, in chaos, and it's depressing. But then, of course, story goes along, and you're not playing as Joel, the main protagonist, and your daughter is shot. It was kind of a Carl Grimes moment where Carl gets shot in front of the deer. By, I think it was Shane, I may be wrong, but basically one of the officers shoots Joel's daughter, and then she basically just dies in Joel's arm, and that's literally how you start this game. That's how you just can tell that this story is going to escalate this game. It's going to be touching, it's going to be heart-wrenching, and it starts off just like that. So Joel's daughter dies. You basically fast forward 20 years. A lot has happened. There's Fireflies, which is like a rebel group. You're all in these quarantine zones. The zombie apocalypse has just grown so much. Like, it's just the end of the world. And you're basically just either waiting to die or magically find a cure. Joel has linked up with another lady named Tess. They go on all these little side quests, and they end up finding Ellie, who is the other second protagonist. I really don't remember how, but basically they're tasked with bringing Ellie across the United States, and they don't know why yet. They get to a point where they're running away from security guards and maybe the Fireflies. Don't quote me on that, I may be wrong. And they realize that Ellie has been bit, and they're like, oh wow, she's dead, let's kill her. But then she quickly explains, no, I've had this bite for like 3 weeks. I think I'm the cure. And that's why they are transporting her across the world. Because just think, you're starting in Boston, and I'm pretty sure they're going to get her to like California or somewhere way out there. Maybe it was Utah, somewhere in that area. But so then that's when they realize, okay, well, at least there is hope. And Ellie represents the hope throughout the game. She's been bit. It usually takes about 2 days to turn into a zombie, and she has had that bite for 3 weeks, and nothing has happened. With all that being said, you basically go on a chase. You end up at the Massachusetts State House, which I personally thought was so cool, because I literally walk past the State House every time I'm in Boston. And then, yes, that is where Tess dies. Basically, she's just lit up by all the security guards, trying to make sure that Joel and Ellie can get away. But I think it was revealed anyways that Tess was bit. That storyline is a little foggy in my brain right now. As I said, I'm running late for everything. So the point is Tess dies. Joel is like, shit, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm left with this girl. He hates kids. He basically hates everyone in the world. You kind of just continue along. You go meet up with this big dude who turns out he's gay. He helps you build a vehicle so you can drive off, I believe, to Pennsylvania. You eventually meet up with Joel's brother, Tommy, and he's got this little civilization. It's more like a power plant, if I remember correctly. And then that brings in some fun little levels. And then, for the most part, gradually, Joel opens up a little bit to Ellie, but not much, and that's why people kind of hate Joel, just because he's kind of stuck up, and it's a little annoying, I'll say. But you're still going along the country, you end up in this snowy, like, area. I forget how, but I remember Joel kind of gets captured, locked up, he's in this little jail cell, and you then start playing as Ellie. And this level is pretty cool. I mean, you're playing as Ellie, so you're not as strong. You can die a lot easier. And let me just say, any death you get in this game, wow, it is graphic. Like, they will show you the zombie latching on like Ellie's throat and ripping out her like Adam's apple and blood splurting everywhere. Like, it is a graphic game. So parents, if you are watching this, make sure you check it over. At least watch your kids play because it's graphic. Back to the point. So you play as Ellie in this winter area. You basically meet up with this guy, and it turns out later it goes into the creepiest level of the game. Even I was friggin' scared, and it's virtual game. But this guy turns out to basically be like, he wants to rape Ellie. And you go around this wicked hard level. I died like 5 times. Where you basically have to sneak around dining tables in this kitchen. And the raper like follows you. And if he catches you, you die. Which basically means you get plowed. Or you basically have to find a way to sneak up on him. There's glass everywhere. You can make noise. And basically take him out. It goes into a cutscene. And then Ellie kills him, or maybe Joel comes and saves him. I forget. But basically the guy dies. And I'm just going to fast forward a little. Basically, you have to get Ellie to the hospital. Marlene, who is the leader of the rebellion group I talked about earlier, the Fireflies. She's like, we need to get Ellie to the hospital. We're going to start her surgery to make the cure. Because, like I said, Ellie is the beacon of hope in this game. And they're hoping that she can be the cure. But Joel has kind of secretly grown attached to Ellie. And learning that this surgery that they're doing would actually take Ellie's life in order to save probably millions. It's not a good enough trade-off for Joel. He can't let the girl just die. So then you kind of go rogue and you break into the hospital. It's one of the coolest final levels I have ever played. It just feels, your heart's beating the whole time. It is so much action. You break in, stop the surgery basically. You save Ellie, you carry her out in your arms, and then you actually meet Marlene in a parking lot, I'm pretty sure. And that's where you actually shoot Marlene, kill her. You basically have understood by this point the Fireflies are the bad guys all along. And that's basically how the game ends. There's not really a happy ending. I guess it's happy enough that Ellie was saved. Joel and Ellie have kind of finally connected. And then they kind of leave you on that cliffhanger. Like, what's going to happen next? Will they ever find a cure? We don't know. That's why we got Last of Us 2. There is more DLC, but it's really just to explain Ellie and her friend and how Ellie got her initial bite. Her friend dies by the end of the DLC. That DLC was honestly a little boring, in my opinion. It is pretty long. It can give you probably another 5-10 hours, somewhere along those lines. And that is about it for the story. Whole point is, it's just another zombie apocalypse game, but the way that Naughty Dog tells you the story, it clings to you. I think I did a lot better reviewing this game's story than the other two, just because it's very straightforward. It sticks, it's tragic, it's sad, and it's interesting. So I personally gave the story my first ever 10 out of 10. Some people are going to disagree, obviously, but I just feel this was such a masterpiece of a story. That's what make people love The Last of Us. Trust me, it's not for the gameplay. The gameplay is very average, but the story was just awesome. It's the first ever 10 out of 10 I've given in a Throwback Thursday vlog. I love The Last of Us story. I wish I could remember some more names and details for you guys, but like I have said many times, I just have the worst memory ever. So 10 out of 10 for the story. To get into the gameplay, this will be a lot quicker just because there's not too much to talk about. If you've played Uncharted, it's pretty similar as for gun mechanics, stuff like that, except you are much more focused on stealth. You get this little mode where basically Joel goes into this intensive hearing, and all enemies will be, they have a white little glowing outline, so you'll know where they are. That comes extremely useful when you're trying to sneak around zombies and clickers, stuff like that. The second you go hand-to-hand combat, one of them is going to bite your neck off. Yeah, so you have the stealth mode. I use that a lot. Gameplay is pretty simple. You have a little weapon circle where you can go through, I want the pistol, I want this. You have bricks and bottles which you can throw to distract the enemies. And it's not that complicated. You have crafting, but it's more just like craft this alcohol, this, to make some bandages. So it's very simple in terms of that. As you know, I hate complicated crafting systems. So that made it very easy to enjoy Last of Us. And overall, yeah, that's about the gameplay. Honestly, there's just so much more to talk about in the story. The gameplay is subpar in my opinion. It's still very fun to play, but it's just like that could be the gameplay in any game. You get a couple levels where your heart's racing. There's one where basically you're in a college or university and you push a button and then all these zombies come out because of the noise, and you basically just gotta sprint your ass out of there to the door. And there's some good levels that will get your blood pumping. So I'm gonna give the gameplay I don't want to be harsh, because it is a good game. I'm gonna cushion it a little. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for the gameplay. I was gonna go 8.5, but I feel like no, I'd get so much hate on that. Last of Us too good for that. So with a little bit of support, a 9 out of 10 for the gameplay. But like I've said, don't expect anything extraordinary. It's just your standard third-person, single-player, shooter type of gameplay. And I'm pretty sure there is actually multiplayer. I've never tried it, but I think you can get up to like a group of 8, and maybe you go for like some scavenger hunts or something. But that's nothing that I really tapped into. I'm sure it's not that great. Usually single-player games are not loved for their multiplayer modes. So you get a 10 for the story, 9 for the gameplay. Overall, that means I'm going to give the game a 9.5 out of 10 for the final ranking, which is definitely the highest I've ever given a game, I think. I think Horizon was a 9, and I think Bioshock was a 9. So boom, 9.5 out of 10 for the final rating. Last of Us is a great game. I'm pretty sure it's still just a PlayStation exclusive. So if you're only on PC, Xbox One, or even just Switch, I don't think there's any way you can play Last of Us. Definitely find a way to, even if you can play it on your old PS3. I don't think you're going to notice too big of a difference in the graphics comparison. The game floods in some beautiful scenes, like the famous giraffe scene, obviously. When you finally break out of the building, I'm pretty sure you're still on your way to the hospital. And then you just see some giraffes walking by, and it's just beautiful. You see the full city. Of course, it is still under destruction, but that was just a cool little scene. So that's about it. I don't want to keep rambling because you know then this video is going to be extended another 5 minutes. I can talk forever. So The Last of Us, 10 out of 10 for the story, 9 out of 10 for the gameplay, 9.5 overall. Check it out. Thank you for watching this video. Throwback Thursday episode 4 will be posted 2 weeks from now. Of course, every other Thursday is the schedule. A lot of content is coming your way, as promised. I'm no longer on vacation. So aside from school, I'm just making new YouTube videos. Stick along. Say that right. Tag along by subscribing, hitting the bell if you're brand new, that just to make sure that you don't miss any of my new videos. Like this video, comment down below. I love comments. I always answer to them. I got one little quick shout out. Go check out RaDuhKewl. He made me these really cool edits of my profile picture, basically cartoonized, and he's really cool. Talking about zombies, he reminds me so much of Carl Grimes. Go look at a picture of RaDuhKewl and tell me he does not look like Carl Grimes. I even told him about it, and he laughed, because everyone tells him that. So that actually fit in pretty well with the zombie theme today. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Do everything I said before. Show me the support. Show me the love. 200 subscribers, I will give away that Burger King 2005 Darth Vader toy for free. All you have to do is subscribe. Don't enter to anything. And that's all I got for you today. Stick around for more videos. See you in the next Throwback Thursday. See you in the next gameplay video, probably. As always, stay radical. I don't know why I went for this first. Stay radical. Peace out. See you in the next one. Goodbye.